What y'all welcome to the barber shop. Y'all welcome to the barber shop.
Come on, baby, won't you let me in?
Won't you look at that? Won't you look at that? I'm on Facebook as we speak. Loading up tonight's show, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. We're hanging out on Google Plus, so we won't give up on it. We are here, there, everywhere. We are Barber Shop Podcast, coming to you live from Boxo Studio in the great city of Hamilton, Ontario. And it is your host, Kevin Barber, with Ryan Cannon, Gary Greenland.
We have mics and cameras this week.
We have mics and cameras. Everything's working.
We also have, I don't know, can they see it? Should we tell them? There's secrets on the other side of the desk.
There's secrets on the other side of the deck. We are building the foundation for what is soon to be a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You know?
And we tried them out, and it's no secret. You posted it the other day.
Yeah.
We got the cameras. We hooked them up. The card's working. It looks brilliant, but we're saving it for the 4-year show.
Yeah,
so
and we have some adjustments
and
to do.
we have to make sure everything works good.
But it's so great
You know
when they send something, it costs a lot of money in the mail, and you stick it in your computer and wire this up and configure that, and it works. And it actually works out of the box. How often does that happen? I guess more.
Very rarely.
Very rarely. But it did tonight, and it's good. So we're going back to our old faithful cameras. We love the Logitech GS30-5s, whatever they're called. They have served us C270s. If you want to know, they are great podcast cameras, great webcams. You can pick them up reconditioned at Canada Computers and a couple other places for between $25, $30, $35 sometimes. They're about twice that retail new, but they're great cameras for what they do. But we have actual 1080, Ryan, going out.
Yeah, full 1080, like high bit rate, like nice. It won't be. We're still going to have a bit of a quality choke live, but the YouTube product will be spectacular. You'll notice the difference live, but the big difference is going to be the final product.
Yeah, and that's
on
what
YouTube.
most people do watch.
Because we can only put so much out through our feeble internet system.
Yeah, we actually have a pretty kick-ass internet system compared to what it used to be just a number of years ago.
Yeah,
but
it's just the 1080 is a lot for it.
Well, YouTube's where it's at. Check us out on YouTube. Well over 70,000 views and growing. What do? We feature the very best in original music, original musicians, real people, real stories. There is a whole world out there that isn't being talked about, that isn't being covered, that isn't being looked into, that isn't being supported, but it thrives in its own way. It is live music, it is original music, and it is the source, the ground source, the spring of the music that we hear in our life. Sometimes someone follows that road and that destiny, and you wind up getting them on commercial radio, and you become aware of them. More increasingly, bands and music, are either produced and manufactured or through the tried and true methods of, great songwriting, a lot of dedication, some people getting together, working very hard, developing a fan base, working working very hard and getting out and being great to people, not being a dick, appreciating your fans and showing them that. And there's, you look at Monster Truck and the Arkells and Tara Lightfoot's doing great now. It's so great to see Hamilton being appreciated and recognized for the musical hotbed that it is. And we're a small part of that, but we have a mandate here at Barbershop Podcast to promote live music and tell the story about the musicians who produce it. Who are they and why should you care? You want to make a personal attachment, you want to have a reason to get into it, or you might just like the way they sound. We give you both options, a little story, a little insight as to who these people are, and you get to hear some of their hard work performed and recorded and preserved in the studio via the CDs they produce, and then when they play live here at Barbershop Podcast, you can see and hear for yourself, wow, that's straight from the horse's mouth. Barbershop Podcast did that for a while. We're talking 208 weeks now, Ryan. Gotta like that.
I'm pretty sure it's 208, which means our math was wrong somewhere along the lines.
It's been wrong the whole time. We don't run from that, but we know I'm comfortable saying it's well over 200
this
shows.
Should be the 4-year show, but whatever. We know it's the last show in November.
Exactly.
That's
and we're going to have that
by.
in 2 weeks. We have an open house. We basically... We ask people to come in and say if you've been a guest on the show, please come in. And there's usually a situation where there is people playing and telling their stories, playing one or two. It's kind of like a high-end open stage, but you get to see some great guitar players playing drums and some great drummers playing bass and some people who've never played together. And the things that we take for granted as musicians, the synergy of being able to sit down with someone and be able to play music together right off the cuff. And people may not understand that and think, wow, haven't you guys played together for not necessarily. And it's kind of great thing to witness. It is a good time. It's the 4th year anniversary show of Barber Shop Podcast. Check it Wednesday, November 30th. I don't know, whatever time it kicks off. Ryan and I are always trapped down here for 3 hours or 4 hours.
We'll need an assistant
nothing but
again.
beers. Yes, we have a couple lined up.
Beer runner.
It looks to be...
Talent runner.
It looks to be a good time.
Try to get Joe Towers on before the end of the night.
We'll get him on first.
Get him on first.
Oh,
I haven't even asked him. I should ask him. You want to come on first this time? Redeem yourself? Not that he did bad. He did fantastic
He did. I
for
baited
the
him,
level
too.
of alcohol that he had in him.
Yeah, and I baited him too.
Yeah.
I asked him what he thought was wrong with the Hamilton music scene. Anyway.
Anyways.
So it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And check us out. This week is also going to be fun, as is next week. You got Brenda Brown coming in next week, I think, doing some jazz, which I've been dying to do for a long time. Great. And tonight's guest, kind of great story, got a hold of me because he stumbled across the website or the show, Barbershop Podcast. He enjoyed it. He liked the way it was structured. And he said, I have a story to tell. I want to tell it, and I want to tell it with you. Have me on your show. And I said, the day will come. Fret not. And, within the next couple booking cycles, I gave him a call. And he's here, and we're going to hear his story, and we're going to hear his music, and I bet you're going to like it. Marc Pettigrew is in the house. Marc, how you doing?
Peace, bro.
Peace. So life is an interesting thing, right?
Life is good.
Life is good.
That's my motto these days.
And tell me about your life. We often ask people when they come in here, about their early association with music, if they came from a musical family. Music obviously being a very important way to tie so much together in your life. What will you do? What's your kind of
I don't know
earliest...
anybody that doesn't like music.
Yeah.
I took piano lessons at 5 years old. 5 or 6 till I was 11, 5 years of piano. Hated every minute of it because at that time, this was the 50s, they were teaching me Mozart and Chopin. And unbeknownst to my mom, I was hearing Jerry Lee Lewis.
Where were you hearing that?
On the radio. While she's doing the housework or whatever she does, and I'm sitting there with the radio tuning into Chum AM and CKOC in Hamilton. And hearing Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard and Elvis and just going, whoa, teach me that.
It made you feel something.
Yeah, did it ever? Yeah, that was cool stuff. So eventually the piano lessons ended because I put up so much of a fuss about what they were teaching me. And so I guess the next step in the journey is high school and picking up a guitar, a cheap electric guitar with a Viking amp and a chord sheet. And instead of doing my homework, I was up in my room with that electric guitar and the chord sheet and learning to play guitar. The Beatles came along. We were doing R&B at that time and or listening to R&B, and we had an R&B band in high school. The Beatles came along.
You can't overstate the effect the Beatles had on a generation.
Of course not. No.
2 generations, I believe.
Well, they're still hugely popular.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, when you see McCartney play, I mean, he draws a crowd.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Sir Paul. That's, and the journey went from there. And then Jimi Hendrix came along. Well, that changed everything from the R&B, so I was in and out of music, high school bands, and a few bands after high school, and then I'd go through periods of,
put it down.
I put it down. I got other things to do, and I get back into it. Then, about 20 years ago, I got very sick. I was coughing my guts out, not getting a night's sleep for coughing so much. Of course, smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day didn't help it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I decided that I would quit smoking, because if I didn't, I was going to be dead. Yeah. You know, I just knew something was wrong, and quit smoking cigarettes, hardest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
I was such an addict. I mean, good Lord. Curled up in a ball. Went down to my folks' place in Florida and curled up in a ball for a week.
And it's people don't understand this with the full knowledge that it is a life or death. You think it would be easy, and anyone who thinks that, and in any addiction, that it's a matter of flipping a switch or a matter of will, you just have absolutely no idea.
No. Some people, I've seen people who seem to be able to just
Some
stop.
can.
Just stop. That wasn't me. No, it was an all-out drug addiction, and it's when I looked at it as a drug addiction, that's when when I was able to do it. So, quit smoking. After 2 years, the shortness of breath was still there. Most of the coughing had gone away, but still very short of breath. That's when I went to a doctor. I couldn't see the point of going to a doctor
when you were still smoking, because you know what he was going to say.
What's the first thing going to come out of his mouth?
Right.
Yeah, you know. So he took a look, and I remember him saying to me that he knew what he was looking for. He says, you know, Mark, I've seen lots of people who smoked for 30 years. They don't have the damage you do. And what it turned out was because of the smoking, and I did everything wrong.
Yeah.
Worked in a dusty gravel pit, played in smoky bars, you know, just everything. And he diagnosed it as a very rare lung disease. Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, for what that's worth to you.
Really?
To make a long story short, I'm missing an element in my system that protects your lungs.
Right. Now, when you hear this, did you enter that third-person perspective, and it became like an echo, and or were you grabbing the full comprehension of when you found out that this was your condition? Like, how were you responding to it? Were you?
Well, this sounds odd. My first reaction was, great, it's not cancer. You know?
Yeah.
And so at that time, he said, you will eventually need a lung transplant. And I said, oh, when? And he says, oh, it's hard to tell. 3-4 years. Well, it eventually became 13 years before that happened. And 4 years ago, and just a little over 4 years, that's what happened. I was a sick puppy because of the genetic thing. My condition just kept deteriorating. I spent several years in Mexico over the winters carrying a bottle of oxygen over my shoulder, and earned the nickname of Tanque. Tanque, which means what it sounds like, a tank, or Oxygen Mark. You know, Mark is doing this. Oh, which Mark? Oxygen Mark, that Mark. Yeah.
Like I have Neighbor Dave.
Yeah, the one with the tank over his shoulder. So went to Mexico, but it just kept deteriorating till I was at the point where brushing my teeth was tremendous effort. I would be seriously out of breath, brushing my teeth, and then I had to get back to wherever I was. You know, I mean, my
quality of life was suffering, and obviously your mental condition and everything else was suffering as well.
At that point, yeah. I got to say, you know, even though I was getting sicker, my years in Mexico, and I spent about 7 or 8 of them before the surgery, best time of my life.
Yeah.
I sold my business and had enough money that money wasn't a concern, and wandered around Mexico with this tank over my shoulder, and had a really good time. But yeah, you're right. The last year, I had a friend of mine rescue me out of Mexico. Actually, I stayed there a little longer than I probably should have.
Fatalistic attitude.
Yeah, well, I just was having so much fun. But I couldn't have made it home myself. I'd drive down there. So a good friend of mine who was down there said, Mark, I got to get you home. got me home, and we started the process for the transplant. And so September 26, 2012 was the day my life changed.
You got a donor, and you got some.
They gave me the call.
You got some lungs.
And saying that, you know, yes, a donor. And then that brings this up.
Now, you have a purpose in life. When you were given your gifted life, you feel that you owe, don't you?
Well, I do, you know, the family of the person who did give me their lungs.
Yeah.
You know, the person would have died anyway, so, you know, it's not like I feel...
Yeah, my father, right from the get-go, was always like, yeah, cut me up and take what you need. And so the family, my mom was a nurse, and she was the same way. It was like, you know, it's silly for me to, if there's a part of me that's healthy that can give life to someone else, why wouldn't I? You know, why wouldn't you?
What are you going to do with it?
And we have a great fear, just like we have a fear about talking about situations. We have a fear of admitting that we're going to die. Like even, like, no, not me. It's like, but if hypothetically, if you were to die, would you be against giving it? Oh no, I'd be okay with that, but I'm not going to die.
Yeah. So. Well, none of us gets out of this alive.
Apparently, that's the case.
Yeah, you know, yeah. But it is a great thing to make sure that your family knows your wishes, that your organs would be loose, because a family can put a kibosh on it.
Yeah.
Let them know what you want. It has been that little green card you get with your driver's license.
Yeah.
Not so much now. I mean, that thing's okay, but what if you lose it? What if it's in a fire or they can't find it? Time is of the essence.
And so once you register, then you're on for good.
Online. Where do I do this? Right here?
Yeah, we'll have it. Actually, we'll put it on. On the people can click on the hypertext.
Yep.
That's what us old people call the link, hypertext.
Beadonor.ca.
Beadonor.ca.
It takes 2 minutes. Have your health card. This is for Ontario. Beadonor.ca. Other jurisdictions, I'm not sure what they have, but in Ontario we have beadonor.ca, just like it sounds. Have your hospital card ready, or your health card.
Yeah.
It takes 2 minutes. And there you are. When paramedics are faced with somebody who's brain dead, the organs are good, that's the first place they go, beadonor.ca, and they save a lot of time doing that. And family will be contacted to make sure that everybody's on board here. And that's why you need to let your family know that.
It's important.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we could provide.
That girl having done that is the reason I'm here today.
And you imagine that it sparks a creative process too, where it's like I got some songs to write and some sentiments to get out there.
There's nothing like being on the brink of death.
Yeah.
to really, you know,
light that fire.
Light a spark, spark a fire. It's, yes.
All right, we kick off with a live one, as we tend to do, as we always do here at Barber Shop Podcast, because live music is something everyone should have. You know, it's available in any number of places. You just have to use the internet and say live music Hamilton, live music Windsor, live music Toronto, and you can find live music in your neighborhood. Well, I don't know about your neighborhood, but you can find it if you look for it. It's something that is good for the soul, and certainly good for the scene. The first one we're going to do is The Love of You, off of Honest Hearts. Tell us about it. Is there...
There's not a whole, you know, I kind of sometimes have the feeling that if I have to tell you about the song, I probably didn't write it very well. But what would an evening be of music without a heartbreak song?
Yeah.
So
well put. All right, you're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
I would walk across the land just to stand next to you. I would give up everything I own just to hold your hand. climb the highest peak just to have you in my view. No, there's nothing I wouldn't do for the love of you. But when you tell me, dear, you found someone new, I know I'll never hold the love of you. I'll never feel your warm embrace as the sun melts through the dawn. I'll never caress your blushing face with the tenderness that belongs with the love of you. I can hold you in my dreams. Some dreams do come true, but in the morning when I rise, I know there's nothing I can do for the love of you. So I'll build my life anew with my memories and my dreams, knowing I'll never hold the love of you, the love of you, the love of you.
Of the record Honest Hearts, that's The Love of You, a beautiful picture painted for us right here, right now, by Marc Pettigrew. Beautiful job. It's important when you are writing to capture the essence of the moment. Are you a real stickler for that? Or
Well, yes. You know, I think as a songwriter, and you know, when I experience times when I'm having a tough time getting something out, it's let it out. Let it out. You know, you got to wear your heart in your sleeve.
yeah, and worry about any fine tuning later. Get it out.
Get it out. Spit it out. You know, don't hold back. You got to tell people about who you are and what you feel, and you know, so that's the main part of it. I mean, and you're right. Later on, you sort of, I call it Hollywooding it up. You know, you can.
Yeah. I call it sobriety, but I mean,
Yeah, okay. Call it what you like.
there's a lot of people. So yeah, you write drunk, edit sober, but it's
Yeah,
good. Like
there you are.
It's good to howl at the moon, like to really not be too cute when pouring your heart out, right?
Just let it out there. Just say what's inside you, and yeah.
So, being an old dude and writing original music and trying to find an audience and get it out there.
66 years old, trying to be a rock star.
Trying to be a rock star. It's not, people don't cut you a lot of slack.
No, they don't.
And it's like, even for the 26-year-olds, it's a tough room. It's a tough gig these days, but you do it because you love doing it, because you have something to do and you have something to say. Right?
I couldn't imagine. I mean, my guitar had to go into the shop for some repairs. And I go, my God, I'm going to be without an acoustic guitar for a week?
Yeah.
No way. I had to go out and buy another one. So, it's that kind of thing. But it's a difficult.
And then you returned it when you got yours back. Something about it wasn't quite right. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But no, it is a tough business. And, one of the things that makes it tough as a business is there's so much good talent.
It's great. Yeah, you can't be pissed off that someone's stomping over top of you, because my God, they're
tons
great.
of great talent out there that would love to make it, or
that should, like we talked. You need 8,000 fans worldwide, make it goddamn living. And you've got so many bands and so many people who would just love to adopt a new band.
Who are fantastic. And I mean, the colleges are pumping out musicians like crazy, amazing musicians, because you have to be amazing to get into these courses.
Yeah.
Never mind when you come out. So no, there's just so much fabulous talent out there. I just recently, in the last year, I've been to Nashville 3 times, and I go to open mics down there. Whew, wow.
Yeah, that is a head cutting cornucopia of people go there and they expect to be
stars
good.
In their eyes.
Like,
I mean, this is a funny story. So I'm down there, and one open mic, I was number 42 on the list.
Right.
And there's open mics every night of the week, and very popular. And the town is full of people that want to make it.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to one guy, and he says, I went to this one open mic. I went really early because I didn't want to wait around all night to play 1 or 2 songs. So I got there early. I was the first one to sign up, but I wasn't the first one to play. The cook had to play.
Yeah.
The waiter had to play.
Yeah.
The maitre d' had to play. The bartender had. All these people that are in Nashville working, trying to make it in the business.
Straight.
But you know what? Having said that, it's a fun town.
Yeah.
It's a really fun town.
If you love music, everyone should go.
Yep.
Everyone should go. So when we brand ourselves Nashville North, let's hope that we do that. Yeah. With respect and with honor, and put the fire behind the whole process.
Well, you've had some special musicians come out of Hamilton.
Oh, fantastic. You can't swing a cat without hitting a fantastic player or writer. It used to be that you could have some writers, and they would come in here and pick up a band, but the writers that come out of here now are
I did 2 or 3 years with King Biscuit Boy, Richard, playing Hammond organ with him. Yeah. And there was one special artist.
Yeah, just at another level altogether.
Oh,
right?
Man. I describe it as the best of times and the worst of times.
I've heard that.
Richard, and everybody who's listening, everybody who knew Richard, he knows what I'm talking about.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got a video we're going to play. I'm going to kick off your recorded music with Middle of the Night in Barra. Is there a tag or a story about this one?
Oh, it certainly is. Yeah. This is this song originated when I was spending my time in Mexico pre-surgery, and so one of my favorite people down there, her name is China. She had a little bar. China, the best dancer in the world. I mean, if you get a chance to dance with her, it's just so fabulous. She just knows what you're going to do, and it's just really fun to dance with.
And then that's not a euphemism, right?
No, she's just great. Okay. And so the bar, one side was on the beach, the other side was on the street, the beach street. So a bunch of people were leaving the next day. Everybody was at this bar that night. Tequila was flowing. I mean, just really everybody having fun. China and I were on the street side dancing. And, it was late at night, and I'm going, wow. The name of the town is Barra de Navidad, affectionately called Barra. Mm-hmm. And so there we are dancing, and I said, wow, here we are in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night. And she said, in Barra. This video we made a couple years ago, in the exact same location where
She said that.
where it was conceived.
Yeah.
You know, I took that line and said, wow, there's a hook, middle of the night, middle of the street in Barra. Took it, made a song out of it, and then went back and did the video right on that very spot, post-surgery.
I love a story.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there you are.
There you go. Keep that in mind when you hear it and see it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Muchas gracias. Esto es In the Middle of the Night in Barra with Marc Pettigrew. Vámonos.
Stealing a kiss in the moonlight. The music that's playing is just right. And all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. One wink in the sky and I'm alright. You offer your hand and I feel light. 'Cause all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. We'll dance to the pony, we'll dance to the twist. We'll dance to old Chubby when it goes like this. We'll do the 1-2-3 and the funky monkey too. 'Cause all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. As the years pass by in our twilight, we'll remember way back to that fine night when all I had to do was dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. In the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. In the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra.
Marc Pettigrew. Muy bien, excelente. Thanks everybody. Muchas gracias a todos.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. Feeling the kiss in the moonlight. The music that's playing is just right. And all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. One wink in the sky and I'm alright. You offer your hand and I feel right. 'Cause all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. We'll dance to the pony and we'll dance to the twist. We'll dance to old Chubby when it goes like this. We'll do the 1-2-3 and the funky monkey too. 'Cause all I want to do is dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. As the years pass by in our twilight, we'll remember way back to that fine night when all I had to do was dance with you in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. In the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra. In the middle of the street, in the middle of the night in Barra.
Middle of the night in Barra. Great video, great story. It is so wonderful when there is a real story that's tied up in with the whole situation. Barbershop Podcast coming to you live from Boxo Studio in the shadow of the great Hamilton Mountain. So, Mexico still a big part of your life, your memories, your kind of
Boxing
inspiration?
Day. I'm on my way for 3 months. Yeah.
I don't blame you, especially
boy.
when you told me that they have a whole St. Patrick's week.
St. Patrick's Week.
Like not even St. Patrick's Day. My
No.
birthday, as you know, is on
huge.
St. Patrick's Day.
It's huge. The story is, across the bay from where I go is 3 little towns, but one of them is San Patricio, St. Patrick. The story is that there was a bunch of Irish mercenaries fighting with the Americans against the Mexicans during the
true.
Mexican War or whatever
There's
that was.
a lot of fair-skinned
Well,
Mexicans.
you will see some red-headed Mexicans.
red-headed, freckled Mexicans. Yeah.
So I guess these mercenaries went, well, geez, we kind of like these Mexicans.
Yeah. This is good people.
They quit the American Army,
Yep.
settled in San Patricio, and so now St. Patrick's Week is so huge. You saw in the video there the fireworks. That was the kids' version of it. The kids were just playing in the streets.
Right.
The parents let them play
There's
with
some good
firecrackers.
pyrotechnics.
Yeah. In San Patricio, every night of the week, first of all, they have a big pinwheel, huge, up in the church tower. Huge. I mean, just giant, this thing, with all this pyrotechnics on it that fire into the crowd. Huge crowd in the town square. And all these things are firing into the crowd, and they got pieces of cardboard, and it's an honor to get hit. And if you're
blinded,
and if your hair catches on fire, you're really popular. And, and the crowd follows these things. And I sit on the second floor bar and watch this go on. I'm going, holy mackerel. Then, that's just the beginning. Then they have this framework that is supposed to represent a bull, that a man will get underneath this thing, and it is covered with all these fireworks, that there are no safety concerns whatsoever. They are pumping Roman candles and everything out into the crowd, and he runs through the crowd, and they chase after it, and it's just absolutely nuts for 7 nights.
Bedlam for a week.
Yeah,
I'm going. I'm
man,
so going.
yeah.
Not this year. Okay, I'll figure out a way. I'm gonna get a ticket for that. I'm getting that information from you, and I'm going there. You can believe it.
I got a spare room.
Good. I'm coming. I'm so. I love this show.
Yeah.
All right. We want more live music out of you.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
If you can. Silver moon. We just had a wicked super moon. The moon has been big and beautiful all month long. It's such a, they said the moon, that's something that every person who's ever been alive who can see, has seen in the history of the world, has looked at the moon. So tell me about your moon story.
Well, it's, like I say, it's another one that's will describe itself. This one's that song of questions. It seemed lately I'm writing love songs. That's got to tell me something. But I don't want to get too introspective about it.
Yeah.
We'll just do it. So, Silver Moon. It's
Silver
brand
Moon.
new. Hasn't been recorded yet. But we're in the process.
All right. We're going to hear it right here, right now on Barbershop Podcast.com.
Will I see you tonight? I've waited oh so long. Will a star fall tonight? One we can wish upon. Will I smell your sweet perfume like a rose in bloom? Will I hold you in my arms? Darling, come home soon. Will I see you tonight beneath the silver moon? Will our time come tonight? Shadows are growing long. Will a choir sing tonight? Will it sing our song? Will the melodies and rhymes ring out in perfect harmony? Will our hearts both beat in time in the evening breeze? Will I see you tonight beneath the silver moon? How much stronger must I be? How much longer can I stand alone? How lonely will I be before I fall into the tempest of a roiling sea? Through the shadows of the night, I call your name. Only just to find my calls are all in vain. Will I see you tonight beneath the silver moon? If I sing a song to you, will you tell me I belong to you? If I tell you that I long for you, will you tell me to hold on for you? If my arms reach out for you, will you tell me to be strong for you? Will I see you tonight beneath the silver moon? Will I see you tonight beneath the silver moon? Will you love me tonight beneath the silver moon?
Beautiful. And I do mean that.
Thank you.
It is.
Now he's laughing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Because he saw I just was I was very musical on the finish. You liked that, didn't you, Ryan? That was quality. That was quality beer opening right there. I'm telling you, Mark, nice tune. It's a lost. I don't know. Are you a follower of fashion, musically speaking? Do you listen to other music, or you just create your own, write your own? Yeah,
and not for any particular reason. I mean, you know, a lot of the music today is that they're putting out there. I love what Frank Zappa said about, you know, he said that it was way better when the record execs didn't know what was going on with the music scene.
Yeah.
You know, the cigar smoking guy was, go ahead, hire him.
I don't know, crazy kids.
Hire them, put them out there. It doesn't matter. Yeah, $100,000, sure. Yeah. But you know, now they got to stay on top of it and control it, and
it's ridiculous.
It weakens it.
It does.
Yes.
I agree with you. I like the way you think, not just because you're just old and bitter like me, because we're not bitter. I'm not, and nor are we old. We are seasoned veterans.
But and I don't want to be stuck in the 60s, 70s.
Yes.
You know, I tell you a secret. They play "Stairway to Heaven." Great song. Play it one more time.
I'll kill you all.
I'd be looking for you.
Ryan and I've seen our good friend Al Berubek just completely lose it over. Yeah, anyway, not really, but okay. We have want to give a shout out to our great sponsor. Been with us since I don't know, for so long now. But they are hamiltonartist.ca, hamiltonartist.ca, Urban Hamilton Artists. Check them out. They are located at 627 Main Street East in Hamilton, Ontario, and they print anything on anything. They print everything on everything. They will do something big. They will do something small. They will do it in individual 1, 2, 3 lots, or they will do it by the case lot. You want to order mugs, hats, shirts, banners, wraps for, windows, engraving, etching. We're talking laser. We're talking all kinds of techniques. T-shirts. We certainly get our Barbershop Podcast T-shirts done through there. And you want the silk screening, they can do that too. Just give them a call at 289-396-1653. And as we said, they're at 627 Main Street East between Sanford and Burris. That's on Main Street in the great city of Hamilton, Ontario. Go check them out. And Marc Pettigrew has come to the hammer. Where are you living these days?
Burlington.
Burlington.
Been there 27 years. The house is for sale.
Wow. Who never thought that day would come? I guess.
For any of you looking for a house in
Burlington. But we relaxed our Hamilton. We have people from everywhere now driving from. But Burlington, it's one of those places that I certainly made good money delivering pizza there when I was in bands. I do the same job you do in Hamilton. You'd make $13.50 an hour. You did in Burlington. You made $20 an hour. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying that's your average with tips. You didn't actually make any hourly. But when you averaged it out, you would work 4 hours and make $80. You work 5 hours, you'd make $100. But you destroy your old beater car, which is what happens when you're having a band. You usually have an old beater car. And
you weren't the guy with the van.
I had the van too, right?
Oh,
but I
Jesus.
could not drive that. You couldn't sell drugs in that van because it was just garish and obvious. So you couldn't do that. So delivering pizza was also, people would be for anything other than being in a rock and roll band. It was all dressed up like the Scooby-Doo van, right?
Right.
So it was like we never got pulled over once because I think the cops were just like, that's too easy. I'm not gonna do that. Yes, no one will give me kudos for that. All right, we are going to go back to another of your going to go something off the CD, and it's off the Second Wind CD. You got a couple that you brought in. You've got Honest Hearts and Second Wind. This one is not talking about obviously in a great drunken bender where you can actually drink more, but literally the play on words of having a couple new air sacs stuffed in your chest there.
Less than 1 year after a double lung transplant.
Right.
And hence the title.
Anything you want to tell us about It's Up to You?
Yeah. Inspired by an old girlfriend that she was having some problems. And generally about life in general, but, sort of talking to her that whatever has happened to you in life, it's really ends up being up to you, where your life goes, where you take yourself, how you deal with things that in order to get over any terrible things that have happened. Yeah, it's up to you.
It is. You're going to hear it right here, right now. BarbershopPodcast.com.
If you'll still be here beside me come the morning light. And I wonder as I stare into the vacuum of the sky, if you and I should say adieu, just kiss and say goodbye. It's up to to swallow foolish pride. Sometimes a mother has to tell a son she's lied. Sometimes when the naked truth is more blaster potion, no sorcerer or sage can end the raging battles that a tortured soul can wage. No hand of God or blood of Christ can stem the surging seas. No voodoo sticks or parlor tricks can put your soul to ease. It's up to you.
All right. Barber Shop Podcast with Marc Pettigrew. That off a Second Wind. Another great tune. You know, you got to have something that moves your butt, moves your spirit, moves it along. All right. We are playing live music. We are playing videos. We are playing stuff off a CD. I'm going to give a shout out, a quick one out to our great tax people at Taxes Done Right. They do our books. Okay, they do a good job doing our books. They could do a good job doing your books. They could do your taxes. They could do all of your delinquent stuff that you never got around to. They will take care of it. They'll make sure you get a check. They do it good. They do it right. Taxes Done Right. Tell them you're a friend of Barber Shop Podcast. They give you another 5% off. It's a win-win-win-win situation. All right, Mark, you have. I have to ask you a very personal question. What was your first band called?
The Prediction.
The Prediction. I do like that.
Yes.
Do you take pleasure in co-writing and working with other people? Or are you a lone wolf who kind of recruits people after the fact?
I don't write with other people. I'm not sure in this part of my life how that might look. You know, I'm just not sure. We had a band called Sluggo. Possibly in the 70s, late 70s or early 80s, that we did original material. So I was writing with these guys, and that's where I sort of discovered that I could write songs. Some of the songs just came from me hacking around at home with my guitar.
Because you were like a sideman for a long time, because you were like a keyboard player was your
with
forte.
Richard was, and we, so any of the cover bands that I had been into in the bars, I played Hammond. And but this band I played guitar in, and a lot of the songs came out of just, we sort of thought that playing music was something to do while we were drinking beer.
Yeah.
And
I'm all for that as well.
Yeah, I can see. And but what ended up happening is, out of this just jamming away, songs evolved out of these jam sessions, and we came up with a lot of songs. So that's the only time that I've written with somebody else.
Gotcha. When the mood called for it, and something percolated up, and you snatched it because you're no
just
fool.
Having fun
because you captured the fun.
Yeah.
You can do that, right? You all picked up a beat.
Ended up winning a recording contest, and
the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do. What have we done? We did Silver Moon, right? Did we do Silver Moon?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, okay. We're going to do Pirates in Paradise. And, of course, being, someone who paints pictures with words, that's a beauty to start off with. Tell us about Pirates in Paradise.
Pirates in Paradise. This is my years in Mexico, and it's just basically a song about the friends that I made down there, the people, what it's like hanging around Mexico.
Love it.
Yeah.
Because we used to call it, when we were drunk, we were pirates, because we had to cover one eye because you'd see double vision, so you were a pirate.
Well, and that's what they say. If you're drinking at 10 in the morning, you're not an alcoholic. You're a pirate.
Pirates in Paradise. You're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
I'm living in a latitude where my friends help shape my attitude. Why has never been in question. Where the sun sets in time and rises right at dawn. A stop sign is only a suggestion. For every rule that they make, there's a rule we can break. The only law that we need is the law that concedes. We're all just pirates in paradise.
those that hate and those that love. Don't walk away with any misconception. The evil beasts and saintly doves, no need to pass no pre-approved inspection. Lives that end and lives that begin, nobody lives without their sins. We're all just pirates in paradise. My gratitude, I'll have you know it's understood, is meant with the best of intentions. Thanks for the wine, thank you for the lovely time, and thank you for the lack of pretension. For every rule that they make, there's a rule we can break. The only law that we need is the law that concedes. We're all just pirates in paradise. We're all just pirates in paradise. We're all just pirates in paradise. Ole! Hey! Arriba!
I like that one. What a great tune.
Yeah.
And again, making it like you were there. And you were there. But you shared it with us. And that's what live music does. It transports you. I heard a tune today, and it was Sam Roberts' song. I remembered what I was doing, and it's funny because I was driving pizzas in Burlington at that time, and I only did it for like a chunk of time, but boy, oh boy, music will take you to your grandma's kitchen where you were, and there's a reason for that, because it is the most powerful of all of the art forms. It captures you. It tells your story, and it takes you back in time. It's amazing to me. I just love. I'm a scanner. Like I'll go on the AM and FM, and I'll just go up and down, and constantly click into something. And if it's something I haven't heard before, so much even the better. You know, like listening to multicultural music, or listening to say like really. And I love a radio show that's theme-based. I'll miss that if radio goes the way of the dodo, and we strictly have a programmed satellite kind of formula where we only get exactly what we want in a very thin but deep.
I had one of those radios, and I won't mention the name.
Yeah.
I soon got tired of it, you know. I listened to a station that's supposed to be 50s and 60s, okay?
Right.
20 years of music. Why am I hearing the same songs every day, over and over? Yeah, what?
There's billions of songs.
Yeah.
And then you realize, I mean, we kind of had a shouting match earlier on this, and that the power and yet the responsibility of the media, the people, and remember like the early days with the shock of payola when they came through that. Oh my gosh, someone actually comes in and pays a radio station some money to pay the music. It doesn't come from the gentle heart of an all-knowing, I don't know what people thought. Yeah, like who decides what's out there? But we fall into that how good can they be? I haven't heard of them. I haven't heard of her. How good can she be? And it's like, well, I know from personal experience that everyone who's world famous started in a town or on an open stage or some little place, and that because it's art and it's subjective, without a doubt, there is world-class music in every
Now, wasn't there
corner.
a brief flash there when FM radio started coming in, and some of the stations were letting the DJs go with what they wanted?
Yeah,
and Pete and Geets were.
Yeah,
being crazy in the morning.
I really thought that would work, and I even thought that instead of like saying, okay, we won't play Stairway to Heaven, or we won't play the same song, but we'll have a random. This is back in the CD days, right? And I thought you could say, okay, we know that we're going to play these 15 artists, but instead of playing the same song, we're going to have a random. Just push random, and it could be like the song on the second side that no one ever hears, but.
Now, do you think that maybe now with the internet and what you're doing here, that maybe people will start coming on board and say, I can set up my podcast show here, and I can play whatever the hell I want.
Absolutely.
And so maybe that'll open the doors up to get away from this corporate.
Yes, there's the big and because it's already got to the point where you weren't making any money from it. So people who are investing in it do it for love and do it because they believe in something. And people will gravitate towards people who believe in something. So if you're playing a kind of music that makes you feel great, and there's some kid who's 17 years old who feels that the music that all their friends like is a little too processed, and all of a sudden someone says, well, check this out, something from the 20s or the 30s. And then we've seen a case of it, someone come in playing something that would be considered a period piece music, but because,
I think it's important for people to really broaden their horizons as much as possible with music.
Yeah.
To stay in one genre, it's so wide, and there's so much really good stuff in different genres. I did that with my daughter when she was growing up. I took her to see the what's it called, the Presentation Hall Jazz Band, and I took her to see Omar Portuondo, Cuban singer from the whatchamacallits,
right?
The Buena Vistas, those people, and different things like that. And then she's 37 now, and she, I borrow her car and I turn her radio on, and I can't believe you're listening to this stuff.
It's good stuff. When you that's right. When your kids become middle aged, or start approaching middle age, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like I've done good.
Yeah.
I've done good, because I thought that had my kids the last couple of days, and it was like, you know what, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
It's good when you surround yourself with love, and you're still on this side of the dirt. It's good. And that's the theme you started with today. All right, we're going to do another recorded tune. I think it's The Day I Met You. We haven't done that one yet, right?
Fabulous. Yeah.
All right, so tell us about that one. This is also off the Honest Hearts.
It came from a memory of a particular
woman,
of course.
It always is inspiration.
Yeah. And so I thought I would describe that. That's all basically what I did. It was my first venture into using horns.
Oh, you got to have horns when you can put horns on a record. I love it.
All right, lots of horns. Yeah, and real horns, as a matter of fact.
Well, you can't get away with the keyboard horn, although it kind of works okay when you're like, nothing compared to real horns. All right, we're gabbing too much. Let's just hear it.
Okay.
Right here, right now, barbershoppodcast.com.
Turn my eyes to glance the other way. Would our paths have crossed some other place or time? If I had changed my mind and gone some other place, would we have ever found each other's hearts? There was something in the air that day that made the sky so blue. My heart was filled with thunder the day I met you. Yeah, you. The day I met you. Yeah, you. What was the chance that fate would have you there for me? How could we know our love was close at hand? What magic spell has cast our destiny? Two souls entwined as one forevermore. In that moment I saw wonder, the wonder of you. My heart was filled with thunder. You're my dream come true. Yeah, you are my dream come true. Yeah, you. flame. Time passes by, one day becomes another day. Each day I spend with you, I live my dream. There was something in the air that day that made the sky so blue. My heart was filled with thunder the day I met you. Yeah, you. Oh, the day I met you. Yeah, you. The day I met you. Yeah, you. The day I met you. Oh, the day I met you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
All right, Marc Pettigrew, right here on Barber Shop Podcast, giving you the very best of live, original, real music coming out of the Southern Ontario region. In this case, Burlington, Ontario, the uptown brother of Hamilton, Ontario, longtime big brother, little brother, kind of GTA, non-GTIA, that side of the lake, this side of the lake relationship, but we do love our folk, and especially because, as I said, I also delivered booze in Burlington, and there's a lot of shady spots in Burlington too. It ain't all hoity-toity like
I
people.
don't know where they are. Would you tell me?
I would. I'll tell you exactly. Warwick Court is one. I'm not sure. All right. We talked about music. We talked about inspiration of music. We talked about the kind of transitional, generational aspect of music, about playing with people, sharing that kind of common feeling of musicality, process of writing. We're going to go into your last live tune, and it's going to be Watch the Rain with Me, which, again, this could be, it has great imagery, right out of the box. Yeah. And again, is that something that you strive for? Because when I close my eyes and I listen to you play, it's easy to go somewhere. And it's not because I'm, tripping on heroin or something.
I think that, when I think that we're all human beings, we all share an awful lot, feelings and things like that. And excuse me. And so, if you write about these things, people are going to recognize it in themselves, and I think maybe, that's one of the beauties of music, I mean, just for fun, it's my party and I'll cry. I mean, how many young girls went through that?
Yeah,
and
didn't feel alone when
they felt that. So when you write about things that you feel, then people are going to recognize that and be honest and be upfront and say it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and it's call it like the personal universal. You're writing your story, but their story, our story. It's something that we've all come to see that there's a commonality. And I've held it a great respect for a long time for musicians, and of course, come to realize it's like family or friends, anyone else. There's good ones, there's bad ones. There's ones who are deep, and there's ones who are shallow. There's ones who are preachers, and there's ones.
You know what I mean? Even some of the shallow songs can be a whole lot of fun.
A lot of fun, and that's important.
How much fun was that?
Exactly.
You may not have been around for that craze, but
I saw Chubby Checker at Lulu's, and I twisted to that song. Loved it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of depth in those lyrics, but boy, sure was fun.
Sure. It was the 80s, and it's like I can't believe it, because at the time he wasn't that old, but to me, because I was in my 20s, he seemed like he was quite old. He's still doing it. Yeah. He's still singing that song. He's still twisting, and people still love it. Yeah. It's,
fun.
Common message.
Fun. So you can be deep, you can be fun, you can just take music in so many different directions.
Thank you. Don't get all butthurt about what your interpretation of music is. I'm talking about myself here, or whatever. It is so many things to so many people.
Yes.
All right, and you're going to watch the rain with me, and this is again a a song about, or?
Well, yeah, it came about when I had a woman over who has become a dear friend of mine. Had her over for dinner at my place, barbecue, and we were outside, and don't the heavens open up?
Yeah.
You know, and I have a little shed there that overlooks the yard. And so we just sat in there and had a beer each and watched the rain.
Yeah.
And so the song evolved into all the great and wonderful things that you can do in life that, you know, just seem so fantastic. But really, at the end of the day, it's just the simple little things can have a whole lot of depth. And so just the two of us sitting there watching the rain. Yeah.
All right.
That's where that came from.
You're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
We could fly to Paris, France, climb the Eiffel Tower, set adrift on a boat of reeds down the Nile. We could chase a wheat ferry across the Emerald Isle. But at the end of the day, would you just sit and watch the rain with me? 10,000 golden voices of a Vienna choir, all the riches of pharaohs and kings. We could wander the world near and far, find our way by the stars. But at the end of the day, would you just sit and watch the rain with me? For every drop of rain that falls, there's another rose that grows. For every summer shower, another river flows. From every midnight storm, a ray of hope is born. Just take my hand, walk with me. We're only here for a while. Life gives no guarantees. So please put on that lovely smile. Smile with me. We can share it all as one. Life's moments great and small. But at the end of the day, would you just sit and watch the rain with me? At the end of the day, just sit and watch the rain with me. At the end of the day, just sit and watch the rain with me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That goes out to Neil and Maria if they're watching.
Neil and Maria will watch it,
Yeah.
just like many people will,
That's
because
right.
it's on the interweb forever.
There you go.
It's a great thing for our advertisers to remember. It's not like you're going to be in some little bus station rag newspaper that's going to go in a blue box, or going to go in a radio ad that's going to go up into the atmosphere. It goes in on the internet, and it gets viewed over and 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 over again.
They can watch it in Russia.
It is. It's true. We have viewers all over the world. All granted, most of our viewers are local. Mm-hmm. Certainly Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It's where we are. The beer is delicious. Coors. It is like too expensive, though, I got to say. We're chasing down our great beer sponsor. We're going to announce that on our anniversary show, number 4, on November 30th, coming up. It's been a great night. It's been a great night. Right. I've really enjoyed the evening. We're going to play one more tune off of, which one? This is off of Honest Hearts, which is This Sweet Baby. This is available, of course. The links will be there on your website, I imagine.
It's available on my website, Amazon, CD Baby, all those regular places.
You just put this in, and they will lead you there. And don't you worry about it. So we're going to play Another Place and Time, right? Mm-hmm. That's a sweet one. Now, that's obviously about a heart-rendering situation with another lady.
No.
Dum, dum, dum.
How about that? They surprise you. Just when I thought you wrote nothing but heartbreak songs about women's. This is basically my life story.
Oh, wrapped up in 3 minutes.
No, it's a longer one. I think it's more than 3 minutes. How is it? How long is it? Is it?
It's well, we're going to find out right here, right now. BarbershopPodcast.com.
Out on the street, I had to wander. I had no place to sleep. I was old, so tired. I didn't know if I could wait any longer. But that was just another day in another place and time. I was lonely on the streets in a city full of strangers. A small town boy on his own. 2,500 miles from home and in danger. But that was just another day in another place and time. Snapped at my heels, the wind cut just like a razor. My heart was weak, I had to carry on. I topped the windswept peak and gazed at what lay before me. But that was just another day in another place and time. On the far side of the hill, I found the cabin and the quill. rescued by the grace of a stranger. She said, you gotta sing, you gotta shout, you gotta let it all hang out. You gotta chase those crazy dreams of yours with all the might you can bring to shore. You've gotta love just like a rock. You gotta give it all you got. Cherish all the love you have, then give it all away. And know it all comes back to you each and every day. You've got to live your life out loud. Be humble and be proud. Walk tall among the thieves and saints. Life's what it is, not what it ain't. So when you close your eyes at night, you know you gave it all your might. You can rise to greet another dawn, then do it all again. Yeah.
That's Another Place and Time. Marc Pettigrew. You can get that off the Honest Hearts record. You can check out Second Wind and buy them. You can see him. You can follow him. Go to your website. So much
Facebook
fun
page,
tonight.
website, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Keep plugging away. You're going to at least 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or 50 people are going to watch this and say, I'm going to check this guy out. Where is he playing next? It's what we do. We spread the word. We spread the love. Thanks so much for coming in tonight.
Next is Mexico, folks. So.
Mexico. So get yourself down there and check out Marc for the next 3 months in Mexico. Well, starting Boxing Day. For Ryan Cannon. And
It's
Gary
been a pleasure,
Freeman.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me here. Yeah.
Love having you.
Yeah, I could talk all night if you want.
I know. We could gab all night long.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it again next week.
Yeah.
Interesting story. Brendan Brown in here. Barber Shop Podcast. Thanks for coming out.
You will know to hit your teeth.